So another disappointing day. I had prepared for it from last night. I had written down on my notes. I had drill out the pictures of my play and potentially the setup for this morning. I was visualizing it before I went to bed. I was anticipating it for the morning, looking at the pre-market. Knew it was gonna be a gap up. So okay, knew it was gonna be a gap up. I wasn't going to buy the puts at the opening. I was going to wait um, for strength to buy the puts because part of my strategy was that I didn't want to chase. So don't chase. I wanted to buy the puts on weakness. So essentially, it was there. However, it was going up, 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 and at this point, this was at the 32. I was just about to press the buy button. And what was I planning on buying? I was planning on buying the puts for the what was it? Is it this one? 3250 maybe? No, 3150. Yeah. So it wasn't. No, it's 3200. I was planning on buying the puts for the 3200 right here. Which was 16. The low was yeah, 15.3, but for whatever reason, I just didn't push the button and I missed it. I was scared. I was just scared of a continued push, and I didn't want to get stopped out. So just by waiting an extra, just being just slightly hesitant, it just went down too quick. And at that point, I was just like, let's just hope for it to come back up a little bit. But once you miss it, you miss it. So then it came down here. And at this point, I was like, man, I could have had it here. Do I really want to get it here and get stopped out on the next candle? Because a lot of time you get this first candle right here, and the next candle can actually be a stop out candle. So the only thing you can do is you don't want to chase, because the next candle can be a stop out candle before it goes back. But it didn't, so it went down. At this point, you just missed it. Not only did I miss the puts, I missed selling the calls because I had my hand on the button to buy the puts. Wanted to get those puts, and I just forgot about. I mean, normally I would get the calls, selling the calls here, which would, very difficult to stop me on the calls because I was playing small. And it would have been, I mean, it would have had to be like a tremendous push to get me to get stopped out of that call because I could have held that call for a good, 200-300 before I get stopped out. Because I mean, I knew it was gonna I knew it was gonna go down eventually. So I missed out on the calls and selling the calls, and I missed out on the puts. I was right there. Those puts would have been very profitable. Even if I had it gotten in, if I had, I probably wouldn't get in at the low, which is 15.3, but let's just say I get in at 16, 16 and a half, whatever. Look at that. Look at that run up. That's five puts I had in my order, and I probably wouldn't have gotten the top here at high of 35, but even if I gotten at 25, 10 points, I probably would have gotten, that's 5,000, a nice $5,000 gain that I missed. So that was very disappointing. Very disappointing missing. I probably wouldn't have gotten all of this. But, the setup was right there, and I'm just not accustomed to buying options. I'm more accustomed to selling options, but the setup was right there, and I was prepared, and everything was in play for me to do it, but I just got that little bit of fear in me, that I'm still trying to get rid of that fear, because the thing with buying options is that you can get stopped out so quickly if this is a continuation of a push. Kind of like what happened yesterday. If you try to, here it is, right? If you try to time the very first candle, And let's just say this one you was hoping for more profit. Well, this would have stopped you out. And if this didn't stop you out, this would have stopped you out. And if this didn't stop you out, this would have stopped you out. Or this would have stopped you out. That's a good. I mean, if you would have bought the puts at the high here, you would have held all the way. At this point, you would have. That's probably a five, six, $7,000 stop. At a certain point, you feel that much pain that you eventually had to hit the sell button, and then at that point you lose all of this reversal, which will have made you, what you had if you bought the puts in the beginning. So that's what I didn't want. I didn't want to hold on to, because I knew from what was this? Is this Thursday? Yeah, that was yesterday actually, the 7th. So I knew this behavior existed yesterday. So that little bit of fear prevented me from essentially executing on buying this puts. Now it did look a little bit different. Let's look at it side by side. No, that wasn't yesterday. That was Wednesday, I believe. Yeah, that was where was that? Yeah, here it is. That was the 5th. Where it just continue to push, and that's a different behavior. You can see that that gap up wasn't as oh no, here it is. Yeah, it was yesterday. So actually it looks very similar. So yeah, on the 15-minute it looks very similar, except this one continue on with a stop you out. On the 5-minute is where it might have looked different. And let me just move this out a little bit more and see if we could yeah, the 5 minutes you can see, yeah, because of this guy right here. So the setup was completely different. This one indicated, this previous candle right here indicated a price target. This one right here, this gap up had no price target, except for if you went all the way out, you probably would have had a price target. I mean, all the way, yeah, way out there. Like, you have to look at the daily almost. No, that's sure. Yeah, it's actually no price target. This actually was breaking out, so no price target. And that's why the setup is different. If you look at it in retrospect, this one had a price target, and of course they break the price target slightly before reversing. So those who bought the puts here probably would have gotten stopped out for $5,000 to $7,000 loss, probably $7,000 loss. That's how much you lose just from here to here, because the IV curve shoots up so high. This, however, I wanted it. I knew it wasn't gonna break out, but just that fear factor, just this right here, even though the setup is different, it's still seated in my head. What I was watching yesterday, what I saw yesterday was a mocked push, an attempt of a push to try to get it higher. But of course, this is October, not August. In August, of course, this would have just kept going. But October, you get this failed push on a technical level instead of a breakout and a flush, or a squeeze actually, where they would just squeeze anybody who think this is a price target. If this was in August, of course, it would have been a squeeze. October, totally different setup, totally different game. Not enough buyers, not enough people to squeeze out the short, so you get a retracement. Again, here, the chance of a breakout was so low. It's just the fear factor is still in me, and I missed two good opportunities, a lot of missed opportunities on the options. This is where you make the most gains. I mean, look at this snap down all the way. I mean, that's a classic weakness. They'll snap it down. How much potentially you would have lost? Uh, yeah, that's 17 all the way to 35. That's a double right there, 17 to 35. So that's almost $10,000 potentially, close to $10,000. Um, Probably $9,000 loss opportunity. Sold here, get back in. Look at that, all the way to 42. Down here is a low of 24. That's almost a double as well. I mean, these are opportunities wasted, and of course, then it reversed. But it's hard to play the reverse at this point, although you do see. No, that wasn't right. Is that right? No, that wasn't it. Yeah, it is. Oh, I missed completely. I don't know if I missed this or not, but look at that. Right on the 5 minutes. No, I was watching that. I was seeing that. And let me see if that, yeah, I did see that, but I think I was waiting. I don't know why I missed that, to be honest, because this 100 is way too far. So this 100 was a nice technical level. I mean, could have gotten that complete reversal. That's just so pretty of a setup for buying the cars. Although you probably would have gotten stopped out on this retracement. But yeah, look at this. This one break the VWAP. And this stopped me out because I had timed it right at the VWAP. So yeah, I made 13,000 for the day. Small, but it's fine from the current setup that I'm doing, going small. Still waiting for the push flush, the one where I'm actually buying the options, buying the puts, buying the calls. Those are gonna be the one where I'm hoping to make the 5 to 10,000. These are just small potatoes on selling the options. You can't really make that much unless you are playing, a lot of options on selling or waiting for, the main, the big move. So I did get stopped out on those calls right here. Got covered. So that was unfortunate because it was actually a nice setup. Very nice setup right here. And look at that, went all the way down. So that little bit of a trap. I hate when that happened. And it was only $100 lost, but man, I guess that's why I was going small, right? I was going small so that I could hold my stop a little bit longer. But at this point, it just felt like it was gonna break out. They just tricked me, of course. I mean, that's just unfortunate how they tricked me. Because at this level, it just got higher than this candle, and it just looked like the breakout. It just potentially, yeah, look at that. It was higher than this candle, so it just looked like a breakout. So that stopped me out. Even though I went small, got me stopped out for 100. Yeah, I should have just. I mean, I could have held it, and I would have gotten some, this movement, which would have been 300 probably from here to here. But the trend for the day, so I'm still using that strategy, trying to establish the trend. What is it? Follow the trend. Follow the trend. This is probably the best strategy if you can establish a trend. So it was hard for me to establish a trend. I knew it was a gap up. But I wasn't convinced that the trend was going to be up because price targets was reached, price target on both Amazon and the Q. You look at the Q, the price target was reached right there on the 50. So you can see the price target was reached. Of course, they're going to try to squeeze a little bit of squeeze, but then it reverse. So the point of the reversal, I knew, once price target is reached, you can have a new trend, and it could have been a downtrend. And at this point, it felt like it was going to establish a downtrend. They, of course, recovered it. So if you look at the QQQ, this right now still looks like an uptrend. So yeah, still looks like an uptrend on the daily. Is above. Yeah, it is above, slightly above price target. So it is slightly above price target, which would mean potentially a breakout. I think yeah. So potentially, I think everything is looking good at this point. So let's just look at the SPY real quick. Yeah, SPY is, of course, SPY is at price target too. So SPY is at price target. Even though it is a breakout, it is at price target. Let's look at the weekly on the SPY. Yeah, price target, although the price target is a breakout, so I don't know what that means. The QQQ, the QQQ is, of course, yeah, I didn't want to adjust that, so that was not what I wanted. Let me see. Let me readjust that. Yes, correct now. So it is, yeah, it is right at price target actually. Let me see. Where is that right? Yeah, right at price target on the QQQ. Although the after hour it is higher. So they're trying to break it on the after hours, but that might reverse tomorrow. So both the QQQ and the SPY are at price target. The SPY is stronger at 61.8. The QQQ is at the 50. Let's see what IWM. IWM, holy smokes, all-time high. So IWM is really breaking out. And then of course, let me look at the semiconductor. Yeah, semiconductor is, yeah, it's also at a high. So everything is optimistic right now. I can't see anything wrong as far as going higher. Look at that. Financial is breaking out. DIA is breaking out. So yeah, everything looks positive. Although the big techs like Amazon is looking weak. Tesla is looking weak. When you have these solid green, that means it closed higher, but it closed down for the day. So the trend is a higher, an attempt of a push, an attempt to gather the buyers to squeeze out the shorts, but the sellers got in place. And so you got the green candle here, which indicates weakness. These are potential reverse candle. I mean, they don't have the wick. The wick like these would be much worse if this was a green candle, of course. So if there's a wick here on this candle, it would have been it would have been worse of a more of a selling candle. That would indicate a gap up, a push higher, and then a reversal. Push higher and then a reversal, which would be very bearish because that means the bulls were trying to break out and it reversed. This is different. It is a gap higher and a slight push up, which I don't know why they don't have a wick because it should be a little bit of wick because it is open higher with a slight push, but I guess the first candle doesn't count. So then Apple ended up red actually, although the after hours, look at that, ended up red, although the after hour is green, which makes it, but it is right at the 5-day moving average. So this would have been, and actually the 20-day, well, no, the 20-day was this support. So 5-day moving average on the low, yeah, it's closing at the low. This doesn't look very bullish, to be honest. This does not look. Let me see what the weekly looks. I guess the weekly still looks fine. Let's see what happens tomorrow. I mean, you can't really tell with one day, although it is these big names like Amazon, Tesla, Apple, they are looking weak. For whatever reason, Snow is looking weak as well. So now it's back down. Boeing is looking, hard to say what Boeing is doing. Nvidia all of a sudden gets weak. So yeah, so that's the way it is, right? You get strength, and then now it's weakness. So you don't want to buy on the very first weakness because there's so much strength. This right here, all these guys potentially are profit takers. So I would not be trying to buy at this is one candle. This is where a lot of Tesla buyers think that they're buying the dip, but really, I mean, it can easily go much lower. I would have a price target down here on the 50 before I would buy Nvidia. Still quite a bit before the earnings. I think earnings is in November, so still a little bit while before earnings. So I would let it retrace. Oh my goodness, TDD. I always miss this guy. I mean, this guy, what can you do? You just wait and I guess I will be monitoring this for potential reversal because this is an opportunity. Look at that. That's just a. I guess they decided to push it at some point. This is like the neo Tesla, right? TTD. This is what Tesla did. So there's always other stocks that will behave like Tesla. They will always find a new golden child. So it was Zoom, a couple Zoom was having it. Look at that. Zoom was just going boo all the way up. The behavior of the Tesla push. Of course, Tesla did that in August. I mean, look at, yeah, here's the August push for Tesla. So once they finish that, you're not gonna see it again. I mean, not you will, but it won't be for a while. I mean, before Tesla redo this type of push, it'll probably be another month before it does that. Right now they're focusing on stuff like TTD. So yeah, I don't know when it's gonna peter out, but eventually I think it'll be a good opportunity to short. It's just going a little bit too far. Look at Lemonade. So I was looking at this guy potentially yesterday. Cause I mean, you got Big C making a move, you got Snow making a move, so Lemonade eventually on Neil, cause it's an NPI, so these IPO, I'm sorry, IPO, so eventually these IPO get some buyers, and boom, look at that. Although it was sitting when I was watching it, it was already right here, it was at the 50-day moving average, and I was like, let's just and then of course it went. Google went, and like I said, Google always go after everybody has left the building, then it becomes Google turn, and so now it's looking bullish. Probably gonna get all the way. So any weakness tomorrow, if I'm lucky on a gap down, yeah, on a gap down, if I'm lucky, I will probably get Google. For next week, I won't buy it for this week. I'll probably sell the puts, or sell the puts and price target 1500 for Google. I probably might go down a little bit and hit right there. So 1496, yeah, 1496 is a good price target for Google. Facebook is showing some strength today. I don't, yeah, it's nothing to write home about on Facebook. It's just, yeah, it's hard to say. Let's look at the performers. You got, let me see, sure, look at NPR, NXP, breaking out. Semiconductor just broke out. Yeah, and then of course Roku got some price upgrade. They always upgrade it when it's at the top. You notice that it's so weird, and then it gaps all the way up. So yeah, it's too late to. I don't know if this is a short candidate, to be honest. It's not expensive enough to be a short candidate. It might just keep going to 250 before it becomes a short candidate. It's only when you got expensive. Well, I don't know. TTD is not that expensive either. It's at 25, but it just feels expensive because it's 600, whereas Roku is only two. Yeah, it's hard to say. Let me see. Yeah, another semiconductor breaking out. This is Broadcom. Look at that. So the semis are breaking out. I do have Lily, so this thing is moving, and I got Lily based on, look at that, right there. That's when I was watching it. So I got it right when it broke above this. So technically, this is very nice play I made on the swing trades. I'm gonna probably hold it for a little. Yeah, I don't. It can go. It can break out, and yeah, I'm probably gonna not gonna sell it until it gets at least to this level. Not sure if I'm going to sell at all, but eventually, if the market get weak, anytime there's weakness in the market overall broad market for whatever news, I probably will sell it. I mean, no point in holding if the whole market is turning. Um, got out of AMD, and yeah, right, I got out at the reversal. I mean, it might gather strength and continue, but why hold something when it can go? I mean, look, this trend could easily reverse, and this could start going down. So net teas, I'm sitting, yeah. So luckily it didn't stop me out because I did get it on this point, at this support, so it broke out. So now I'm back at even. Though it could have stopped me out, I didn't hold a really big position. So let's see where net teas goes. It might continue up, but I don't like the fact that it broke below this. The weekly, let's see what the weekly, yeah, I didn't like that at all. Look at that. Yeah. But let's see what happens next week. If it's go up higher or it continues down, I mean this is a positive tail at least. A positive signal with the tail on the candle. So Valerio, that's the other one I got in. So I'm hoping follow up. So this week, Friday, just tomorrow. So this is definitely gonna close green. So I'm expecting further strength. So that's looking positive, I think. So Valerio, yeah, that's a good buy. Well, I mean, it can reverse because I mean, this was a, you could say this is a good buy too, or any of these green candle, and then it just turns in reverse. But yeah, definitely it could reverse and go all the way down here before, coming back up. But we'll see. I might bail out depending on how if it doesn't get strength next week. Boeing is, I mean, not Boeing, the oil stock. Yeah, it could, I mean, I guess it could keep going up. On the weakness side, you got Amgen. So, yeah, look at that Amgen. At this point, I don't know what happened. If there's some news, but it's probably, yeah, I wouldn't buy it unless it gets down to 234 at this point because it's just whatever happened today. Probably some downgrade or something happened. This is a consistent sell-off, so there's some news on that. DXCM, yeah, I'm not gonna buy this yet. Though yesterday was a positive signal, it did reverse today, so nothing to write home. Oh yeah, I missed out on this one. This was the one. These are the micro cap that I look every morning. I pull up the micro cap and looking at potential day trades on the microcap runners. These are the push candidates that the traders like Warrior Trader always advertise like they make $100,000 or whatever. So I was watching this and I was like, yeah, this is definitely a push candidate. I was just watching it and I was like, at the time I was like, it's a push candidate, but it's a biotech. So it had it been like an energy stock or something, and the news was an acquisition, but the behavior of the volume and the movement at the time, it was a really classical behavior with price actions, and it was up over 100% at this time. It was like 115 or I was like, man, should I get in? Should I get in? It was a good candidate, although I was like, well, these biotechs, the news wasn't that. It was just an acquisition news, and it did move in the after hours before the pre-market. And of course, look at that, they just push it all the way to the top. And of course, when you see this thing push out of the way, you're gonna see Warrior Trading average like 40,000 or whatever he published. I don't know if it's real or not, but this is how you make money on the microcap is you get these signatures in the pre-market, and it has to be very strong. I'm talking about stuff which like 15 16 million traded before the at the early pre-market where there's lots of volume and lots of price movement up like above 100%, and then it'll go up to like 300% or whatever. I was almost about to get it. I just didn't like the news acquisition, and I didn't like it's a biotech therapeutics, whatever it is. Didn't had it been a energy or a alternate fuel like plug play or fuel cell or solar, those small cap energies or the one with whatever news it is, it's gonna run, especially when it's behaving what it is in the pre-market. So these conditions don't come by very often, maybe once a month, and I look to get into them. I've been missing them because it's just hard to buy a stock that's up over 100%. But yeah, eventually it goes up to 300% or whatever it was. But yeah, these are the one. The next setup, hopefully I'll get one where it's just perfect. The condition, like it was with ADT, the news was right there. ADT when it did its run up, when it right here, right in the pre-market, it was like up here, whatever it was, and then it ran all the way. I was watching the ADT. It was good news and everything, but I just I don't know. I was just scared to buy it, and then now that there's enough example of these ADT, AGE, and there's other names I don't remember, but they do the classical behavior of really strong volume. I'm talking about mega strong volume in the pre-market, mega strong price performance, mega strong. You see the wick actually moves up and down tremendously in the pre-market, which shows it has a lot of interest. And then it ends up, by the close of the day, it's 300. It has to be above 300 millions traded by the end of the day. Typically, that's what you see. So in the pre-market, it would have at least 15 to 20 million in in the early pre-market, an hour before the opening. In my time, it'd be like 7:30, 7:40. That's an hour before the opening, and it's already got 15 millions or whatever it was, and it was already up 100%. So that was a classical signal. So tomorrow is option expiration Friday, which would be tricky. The reason it will be tricky is, well, his QQQ is sitting at price target, of course. Yeah, sitting at price target. Probably gonna break out tomorrow. Well, we don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, this did close lower than this, so let's see what happens. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna. I'm definitely not gonna play a contingency because at this point of price target, it may just wiggle here. So buying a contingent, no straddle. I mean, I wouldn't be buying a straddle. It's just not a nice condition for a straddle because it can definitely sit. Amazon can definitely sit right at 3,200 for the day. Fluctuating, between the upper range, which is 32.10, all the way to 31.75. It's not enough movement for me. It has to be 100-point movement potential for me to play a straddle. I'll probably just expect more or less of, probably a gap up, whether it be a push or not, but look for a reversal at this price target. Probably that's probably the best play. Gap up. It may not even reach the price target. It may just get to somewhere right here and then start turning lower. So probably a oscillating trend tomorrow, very similar to what you see here. Although the afternoon, yeah, afternoon might be one way or the other. Who knows? It might just sell off in the afternoon as the shorts want this candle to look weak. So if this candle starts to go down and close low, you will have a weak signal for next week. Of course, the long, if it closed above the price target, it'll be a nice green candle, that would be bullish. A lower close, even though it's green, it'd be one of these candles where you have this long wick, which would mean it would retest the 5-week moving average next week, which would be a bearish signal. So in the afternoon, they're definitely gonna try to move it one way or the other, whether it'll be price target above here. I'm thinking because 3,200 is already here. Who knows? I mean, they definitely can pop 3,200, or they can move it all the way to 3,150. It's hard to say. You're gonna have to wait, see the price action, see how it behaves before I do anything at this point. For the afternoon. In the morning, I'll just expect the same volatility. 30, so not too bad so far. Although I have to be careful with tomorrow. I don't know if I'm gonna be buying puts. Probably won't be buying any options because, any stop out on the options would be very bad. We're talking about, if you get stop out on options, you lose 3,000. So that would be very painful, and I definitely don't want to do that to mess up my weekend. So I'd rather just finish it strong with playing the same strategy, playing it small, going with the trend. Yeah, playing it small, going with the trend, and just be careful of traps. So it is option expiration. Normally I don't play option expiration. Here it is, option expiration Friday. Don't play. So I may not play, but my strategy has been working out pretty well. So Probably will play because being positive this week, but I would maintain with the small play and just being extra careful. So I won't be buying any options unless the setup is just perfect. Then I may buy a small lot and just risk losing. If I do get stopped out, man, I would hate it because it'll probably be anytime you get stopped on the options, it's gonna be at least 1,000, so that's gonna be pretty painful. But we'll see, we'll see. I need to review this video for tomorrow, and hopefully don't mess up because one mistake is all it takes to ruin your whole day and the weekend. So that's it.